The Cronulla Sharks looking to reclaim top spot on the ladder after Melbourne went top last night. And they have been fantastic at this venue. 3-0 this season, 103 points scored, just 34 conceded. And they have great success against the Dragons in recent times. Last season, 92 points to 24 in the 2 victories against their local rivals. Nicho Hynes doing great things with the Sharks mental fitness round, along with Gus Wallen from Gotcha for Life, a great segment in the pre-game with that duo. And all in readiness here. It was a sold-out crowd, but the weather has kept a few away, but they're packed in on the hill, looking to cheer on the Sharks and this man, the superstar, Nicho Hynes. So away we go in Sunday afternoon footy. It's a really deep kickoff. Kennedy couldn't quite stretch out and get the kickoff out on the full. Brought back by Oregon Corfusi. And now the outside backs go to work early. That was a feature of their game last week against Canberra, Gus, when the outside backs really tore the Raiders apart.
Yeah, it's a feature of their play. Everyone gets in and shares the work, and they're going to have to in this first half because there's a strong breeze behind the Dragons early, which sets up nicely for how they like to play their football. Like to get up in your face and intimidate early, and with the aid of that breeze at their back, I'm sure they'll be doing a lot of that.
Cam McInnes running strongly, and Hynes to kick on the last. And look at that hold up into that breeze. So Sloan able to advance outside of his own 20. How should the Dragons look to use that breeze to their advantage, Billy Slater?
Well, it's about building pressure. Whether you've got the breeze or you haven't, you want to be completing your sets early, especially in these conditions. Kicking game becomes extremely important, and turning the ball over as close to the opposition try line as possible. And that'll be the priority here for the Dragons. Get themselves in the contest.
Blake Laurie into the starting lineup with a hit up there, and following him is Frankie Molo. Little the dummy half, and Hunt to hang it up. Lomax, the only chaser, putting pressure on Kennedy, who did well to juggle in the end.
Yeah, Lomax, he got his hand in there. He has the knack of getting through the traffic and competing for the football. Will Kennedy did a good job on that occasion.
Mulatalo earns the penalty.
I always say when you get a day like this where you're going to play one half into the breeze and one half with the wind. It doesn't matter if you're into the breeze or with the wind. The wind can only affect 2 things. It affects how far you kick the ball, and it affects weak minds. You've got to be really strong-minded, mentally tough on days like this. It's a real test.
Speaking of strong minds, down to Freddie Fittler.
I was talking to Craig Fitzgibbons before. We always, at the Roosters, always run into the wind the first half. He believes also the wind's going to pick up, so I might favour the Sharks a little bit more in the second half. But I've got to say the ground is in great condition. There's no water at all sitting on top, and the conditions outside a little bit of drizzle at the moment. Fantastic.
Here's Nickera. 3 tries for him in 2 games against this opposition last season. Now Hynes, Atkinson, the 5'8", replacing Trindle right now for Cronulla. Short side for Hynes. Wilton, did he get a touch on that kick? I'm not sure about that. And Kennedy able to keep it in the end. There's the knock-on call eventually.
Yeah, Nicho Hynes touching the ball in back-to-back plays. Just went down the short side. Teague Wilton just put in a little grub up. Not a bad place to turn the ball over.
Dragons with that 4-4 record. Had a nice break to get ready for this one after being thrashed on Anzac Day by the Roosters. Gave up 60, but their coach grabbed all the headlines, didn't he, Shane Flanagan? Premiership winning coach with the Sharks back in 2016, now back in the opposition box.
What do you make of that, Gus? Was that a motivation ploy, or was it a deception away from the heavy loss against the Roosters?
Yeah, I have my own opinion.
What is it?
I'll keep it to myself.
I think Paul Gallen went on the record saying it was a genius move by Flanagan. No one talked about the 60 they copped.
Well, we'll find out today, won't we?
Yeah.
Molo holding down Atkinson. He's after a penalty inside the 40. Nothing doing there. Kale Iro has come in, made that left centre position his own. Son of Kevin. And here's Mulatalo, who scored 2 doubles against the Dragons last year and has an amazing record at this venue. There's Big Tommy.
And really these conditions, the wet conditions, play right into the hands of the way Cronulla like to play. I mean, the feature of their game in recent weeks has been their ball control. Completing very high, getting to their kick and just wearing down their opposition. If they think they've got to change that mentality because of the opposition or who the opposition coach is or what the conditions are, well then that could put them on tilt.
Freddie?
Well, on cue, just as I said, the conditions were quite nice. It's actually getting quite ugly. So the rain's coming in a little bit heavier.
It's Cronulla.
The only light we can see is the floodlights on the side of the field. There's nothing from the sky. All grey.
Stay safe in the triangle, Freddie.
Glass half full, Freddie.
I didn't say I wasn't enjoying myself. Me and Em are having a brilliant time.
Here's Flanagan. And they let this one bounce, hoping it'll ride that breeze, and it was a good decision. They get a 7-tackle set out of the Sharkies.
It's never a good decision to let it bounce, particularly at the triangle. You might have got away with it that time, but I wouldn't recommend that again.
What can they do with this opportunity?
Billy Slater never let him bounce. He'd be sliding across there on his knees.
Here is Iro, just the 6th game in the NRL, 5th straight start for him. It's relegated Talakai to the bench. He was such a regular station out on that side. Hazelton. Blake Brayley goes to Nickera. Oh, good tackle, Flanagan. Made that one count, did Kyle. Sharks Jr., of course. Hung up by Hines. Sloan wants it. And a confidence-boosting take for the number 1 in red and white. There's Christian Tuipulotu. 3rd game as a Dragon, former Manly man. And here's the milestone man. Jack Bird taken down one-on-one by Wilton. There's some afters there as well, but the facial offered up by Bird. Premiership player with the Sharks in 2016.
Got a little bit emotional before the game too. Jack Bird receiving his 150th NRL jersey from Luke Lewis.
He was going along all right until he mentioned his family and looked at his family, and that's when the tears welled up.
Yeah, it shows the commitment and the sacrifice that it takes to play 150 NRL games. All the things, the ups and downs that have been a part of his career and that his family have gone through as well.
Yeah, well, he's had long-term injuries, 2 or 3 of them.
ACLs.
Yeah, so 150 at this age doesn't sound like a lot, but he's had to withstand a lot to get there. And your family withstands it with them.
And he plays so physical too.
And that arthritis issue that Paul Gallen spoke to him about in the pre-game interview as well to overcome.
14.
Yeah.
Wow.
Here's McInnes. Sharks starting to win the field position battle into the breeze at the moment. Courtesy of that 7-tackle set a moment ago. Hines trying to place it into a dangerous spot for Sloan, who leaves it. And it ricochets kindly for Bird. Four Sharks involved in that tackle on the winger. Freddie?
Well, from the start of the day, we've spoken about this wind that's coming from the south behind the Dragons, but in front of me and Emma is all the football. We're down the southern end and it's all down here, so the Sharkies are doing a great job with the conditions. Flanagan
pops up on the right-hand side with Eisenhuth playing on that edge. He had to fill in at centre last week. And Moses Sully was ruled out so early. And Anzac Day, Sully out with concussion, of course. for this encounter as Katoa beats a couple of tackles. Strong running by Ramian, and here comes the whistle.
Well, it comes down to mathematics. The world is ruled by mathematics, Billy. The world is ruled by mathematics, right? So when you get a day like this where the wind is going to be important, the amount of time you can take off the opposition while they've got the wind at the back is really important. And the more football you can get with the wind at your back is really important. So the idea for the Sharks is to keep the Dragons away from the football for as long as they can and restrict their amount of time with the wind at their back. It's mathematics.
I knew I should have stayed in school.
Who's your mathematical hero, Gus?
See, these little 6 agains and penalties are eating into the Dragons' wind time. It's mathematics.
This big Tommy Hazelton. He's a maths whiz too, Tommy. Atkinson now. And space for McInnes. Able to get an offload back to Atkinson, who's being told by his teammates, just set it up in front of the post for the next play or two. Still 2 more plays left in this set. Rayleigh goes to Hines. Now it's on out there for Mulatalo, but the Dragons were ready and waiting for the danger man on the left. You have to play it on the last after a really slow play the ball situation. Hines. No way through the contact of Lomax. That's brilliant.
Yeah, really stuck to his work there, Zach Lomax. He wanted to go back on the inside. Nico Hines and Lomax give him a bear hug. He stuck to his work.
There he was, the only marker, Lomax, and he got to Nico Hines to force that handover. There's Ravalawa, the only change to the lineup.
That's why I like Lomax as an origin player, because he does a lot of one-on-one stuff. He does a lot of stuff on his own that influences the game. Now, this is the thing that Cronulla cannot get wrong, is giving the Dragons repeat sets of 6 with that wind at their back. Because now Ben Hunt won't miss this opportunity to find touch. Look at that. Down inside Cronulla half, and now here we go.
Nice to know that Gus is available to talk Origin today after that Zach Lomax shout. Lomax sets them up just 22 metres out here. Hunt picks up the second front rower in Molo. Now it's Flanagan's turn. The blocker Laurie. Opportunity knocks here for the visitors. Flanagan and Hunt combine. And through the hands, winds up with Mulatalo, who was looking to dash away and complains about being caught high by Hunt. And here comes the whistle for that.
Yeah, just got a little bit of detail wrong, the Dragons, on their play here. And Ben Hunt drifting across field. Look for Lomax close to the line. The execution wasn't quite there, and then a little high tackle. Just gifting a bit more field position to the Sharks.
So free scoring the last couple of weeks against the Cowboys and the Raiders. 82 points scored, just 6 conceded for these Sharks. Big collision involving Tommy.
Yeah, that was Jaden Sewer coming from outside in.
Hines goes to Nicola, who's matched up against Sewer, who flopped in there and earns the set restart for the opposition. That was that collision involving Sewer and Tommy Hazelton a moment ago. No damage done to the big man from Goulburn, 198 centimetres. Corfusi.
Couldn't hurt him with a sledgehammer. Big Tommy.
The headband's a bit skew at the moment. Here's Hines for Tommy. One more hit up on this spell of possession.
Can't get it to him enough.
That's 3. 3 for the set for Tom.
Corfusi over the line, spinning to try and get it down. Ref gets down and says, yep, I've seen it. And Corfusi scores.
Well, Tommy does all the hard work. He takes 3 hit-ups in that set to get the field position. And Oregon Kaufusi, well, Tommy's been scoring in the last couple of weeks. It's his front row partner. Isuzu MUX replay. Nico Hines takes Big Tom to the line. And they just go short again of Brayley and Francis Molo. He just drifts out and leaves a one-on-one tackle close to the line. And if my mathematics are right, that'll be 4-0.
It'll be 6, Billy. It'll be 6. Big Tommy softened them up. And they thought, well, they won't give it to another front row. That bloke's just had 3 runs. They won't give it to another one. Francis Molo overread it. And Oregon sneaks in alongside the posts. The quickest line between 2 points is in a straight line. Went straight down the middle of the field.
Yeah, you just see the big number 8, Francis Molo, just leaving his fullback on the line, one-on-one tackle. It was too big. Kaufusi.
Closing in on 100 games, game number 98 today. Just his 4th try in his NRL career for the former Parramatta man. Oregon Kaufusi setting it up for Hines to indeed make this one 6-0. It's a handy spot to take in all the action free of charge.
Yeah, it's a new hotel next door there. I think there's some apartments involved with all that too. The landscape around Shark Park has changed a lot with all the new development, shopping centre and everything. But I came to a game at the Bermuda Triangle, I think it was last year, it might have been Manly and Cronulla, where there was a howling breeze, same as this today, and all the points were scored into the wind.
Only happens in the triangle.
Only happens in the triangle.
Freddie?
Well, that same day on the hill, there was 2 flags, 2 of the big flags in the background, and they're actually blowing towards each other. That shouldn't happen.
Stop it.
If you believe in math.
McInnes just keeps on rolling up the middle. Look at Brayley's sustainability. 84th straight game for him. That's leading the comp right now. Last time he missed, he was rested. Hines punches it down to Tyrell Sloan once more.
I've got to say, I expected a little bit more fire and brimstone from the Dragons. I thought they would be pretty much emotionally punched up. They've been pretty reserved, actually. It's been a controlled opening from them.
Well, the Sharks are 8 from 9, so they've been near perfect, which they've been the last couple of weeks. So that takes a little bit of energy out of you. The Sharks are still treading water at the moment. They're just trying to stay in the fight, stay in the cycle of the game.
Set restart. Saw Craig Fitzgibbon looking out, wondering what the issue might be. I think he saw that set restart brewing for the opposition. Chance to hit straight back. Masua tough on Brayley and might earn another set restart there with Hines holding him down. Oh, big angle being run by Hame Sele, but the ball jolted free by Wilton in company with Kaufusi.
Yeah, they're tough balls to take in these conditions, and on the other end of it, that's the exact zone you want to be tackling. Just underneath the football here, Teague Wilton, that's the zone. You'll get a few errors if you start hitting there.
He's played all 80 minutes in 6 out of 7 games this year on that edge, Teague Wilton.
Sharks just starting to bunch a little bit behind the play of the ball, which could well be a bit of fatigue. It's hard work what they're doing.
Short side for Hines again. Forward pass, the suggestion, and I think the ref overruled the touchy. I'm not sure the touchy was tipping it up, but the ref didn't miss it.
We're down the scrum, Kyle.
Oh, that was a couple of metres forward, that one.
I think he was looking for the breeze to blow it back. he was allowing for the wind.
He got his mathematics wrong there.
Sure did. Had a bit of reverse swing on it.
This week's first ever mental fitness
And the touchy was letting it go, but Todd Smith, the man in charge with the eagle-eyed view. Perhaps Phil Henderson weighed in from this near side, the touchy, to tip up the man in the middle. Do have different responsibilities, the touches at times.
Head in. Oh, there, Daniel. Jacob in, mate. Jacob. Okay, ball bend. Break.
It's Blanca Laurie, first receiver off the centre field scrum, and another penalty blown. So nice little swing of momentum for the Dragons. Maybe this can spark them.
Yeah, a lot of penalties and 6 agains early. It's a little bit stop-start, this one.
Bird takes them forward. Ready to go to work on that right-hand side. There's plenty of depth out there right now as they get set up. And they'll head that way. For Frankie Molo first. Takes them inside the red zone, and Hunt still wants something down the short side. Little goes to the open for Hame Sele and Flanagan. And Sewer thought about promoting it, and Ramian was up for the intercept. Midway through this first half, St George Illawarra in pursuit of their first points. Hunt, late decision to drop it on the boot. He might get 6 more out of that. Sloan is taken down. No, not played at by the Sharks, so it is the last. Hunt has to go again, more conventional this time. It's really deep. And Hines able to get another 7 tackle set.
It was a pretty average set of 6, wasn't it?
2 passes. 2 passes.
Yeah, Hines passed it, and another teammate passed it on to Katoa, and that's breaching the potential of a quick tap, Freddie.
Your son's a pretty ordinary set, but I think at least in the last 2 sets, they've got players working together. I reckon in the prior 15 minutes, they've just spent it trying to keep up with the Sharks. So I feel like they've now got their second wind, and they're starting to throw something at the Sharks. Maybe it gets a bit sharper in the next couple of sets.
It's one in the tackle, so a quick play the ball from McInnes, feature of his game. Atkinson is through. Where to next? Stepping around was the intent, but Sloan stuck that tackle. Got out of the way for Hines to go to work. So the number 7 out of play on the last here. Atkinson has to take over, and trapping and scrapping is Flanagan successfully.
We haven't seen much of Dan Atkinson in the NRL, but we know he's got a right foot step. Beautiful right foot step to break the line. Teague Wilton comes flying in here.
Mate, you've got to shoot out with that time, make contact.
Todd Smith said he's made contact with the head. Here's the line break, right foot step, busts through and tries it again on Sloan. The last line of defence.
Gee, that's a harsh penalty. Crikey.
Yeah, just Atkinson's 5th game, Billy. Queenslander.
Spent a bit of time at the Melbourne Storm. Now he's got an opportunity at the Sharks.
Yeah, Hines and
Good little
Atkinson
competitor.
know each other from their Storm days. Little sensed it. Marcus Worth square. Individual stuff from Jacob Little, outstanding. Ankle tap may have prevented the try. Here's the momentum thereafter. Rolling off the back of it for Sloan, right-hand side. And he was nearly stepping around Wilton. Hame Sele has a crack. They all want to go left now on the last. They keep it in the hands. Hunt. Lomax was inside. Hunt through 2 tackles. Ben Hunt over and lost possession at the death. Great scramble from the Sharks.
Okay, Casey.
Well, he makes you tackle him, Ben Hunt. Last tackle, he decides to run the footy.
If we don't have a try from the Dragons to knock, and we have Jesse clearly offside.
There's definitely not a try here. He doesn't get the ball to the ground, but he beats half the Sharks team. Little Ben Hunt.
What's the one thing about the Dragons? If they've got a lot of ball at your end of the field and not coming up with points, eventually Ben Hunt is going to try and do it himself. It's just a matter of time because that's their biggest play is Ben Hunt dummy and dig in.
There's an on-field call of Jesse Ramian being offside. We have a decision.
He's a tough fella.
So the offside player here has saved the try. Not a penalty try situation, but a penalty coming, and the Dragons will keep the footy here. So Ramian was clearly offside at the start of that final play. Geez, that nose has moved a bit, hasn't it?
Several times throughout his career.
And maybe again today. Flanagan wants it. Walker-Laurie in front of that right-hand upright. Hunt just assessing the numbers, comes to the left-hand side. The captain, Flanagan, here's Sloan. Cuts out one to go to Tui Pelotu. And Bird lends a hand to ensure there was no inter-touch. Has to get to dummy half in a hurry, Jack. And Hines corralled him. Strong arm stuff over the top from Williams that Bird didn't appreciate. And they're churning through the tackles here inside the red zone. Interchanges being made. Tyrell Sloan, what a tackle, Atkinson. Cut down the speedster. Hunt now, look at Lomax. Look at Lomax hunting the footy. It hits the upright. There's a bonus for the Dragons. Kept alive by Flanagan. And Hines able to pounce on the footy.
Well, they move so well, the Sharks. They've got so much urgency in their defensive line. And it's a reason why there's only been one try scored in the last 2 games they've played against them. They do so much work in that part of the game. And you think about their coach, Craig Fitzgibbon, he'd be a defensive mindset coach. And get a lot right in that part of the game.
Well, there's a lot of trust in each other out there at the moment. They just trust that the man from the inside is going to close up the space and make the tackle. So the outside defenders don't need to panic and come in.
There's some afters there after Hines got the kick away. Referee's happy with it, but there was a bit going on, wasn't there, Billy?
Yeah, that's Kyle Flanagan. He went out and put pressure on Nicho Hines. Actually tackled him while he kicked the football. Referee said play on. Here it is here in the replay box. Oh. Well, they've missed one there. Those days are gone where you can tackle the kicker in the air.
Watch this space between those two. Here's Jack DeBellin. Coming off the bench for the 4th week in a row. And the set restart there. Referee not too popular with the Sharks faithful right now. Ame Sele able to show his footwork. Jack Williams again, the strong arm over the top. Back on the angle, Stewart. Here they are again in the red zone. Can they crack the Sharks this time? Laurie wrestled down by Rudolph, who returns from his quad issue today. Hunt to Eisenhuth, who had Sloan wrapping around out the back. Into the back rower instead. Now down that short side. Hunt worked it out and Ravalawa scores. The Dragons do have their try.
Yeah, little Benny Hunt and getting the ball twice in a row. Mentioned that with Nicho Hines down the other end of the field. And he's their go-to man. Good things happen around their captain. He sums it up really well. Back-to-back plays and gets it. Little double pump. And then Ravalawa, he has an open running to the line. Isuzu MUX replay. Here it is again. Just picks out the right person. Mulatalo just jamming in on Sloan. And the Dragons, they're on the board.
Yeah, all that defence on their own line there, the Sharks turning them away, and then a couple of repeat sets again. Gave the Dragons just weight of possession, and it was Benny Hunt, as we just said, the man that comes up with the pass. Ravalawa sneaks over in the corner. Bradley Fittler.
They're all on the back of some pretty poor discipline by the Sharks. They've given up 4 penalties now, a couple of 6 agains, few inside 10s. They all do a great job here. Look at Zach Lomax. He keeps the markers honest. Young Sloan hits the hole nicely. Just has that little bit of acceleration, which teases the winger to come in. Just watch Sloan here. Ready? Just accelerates right. Boom. Straight in that little bit of... That forces Mulatalo to come in, and the space opens up on the edge. Gus talking about the maths of keeping the ball away from Dragons. The maths haven't helped the Sharks the last 10 minutes. Their discipline's been very poor.
What about the stat of Benny Hunt? He's now got 14 try assists this season. That is a runaway leader in that category. Tough conversion for Zach Lomax in these conditions. Look at the wind take that one away. Just the second try this season for the Fijian on the wing. The other one came against the Warriors in round 7. He's scored 66 tries in 94 games overall for St George Illawarra, and he's bringing you back here, McKaylee, with trademark purpose.
And 12 minutes to go before half-time. The Dragons now on the board, and this will be a long 12 minutes for the Sharks. I can't stress how much that defence and that running into the wind is sapping out of them at the moment.
Belland been busy since coming on. Been playing around 58 minutes a game off the bench. Here is Hunt, the assist king so far this year, and plenty of elevation in this one, but no pressure on the take for Mulatalo. 32 tries in 28 games at this venue for Ronnie. Playing outside of Iro. Iro played a lot of New South Wales Cup, and every Monday morning used to knock on the coach's door, Craig Fitzgibbon, and say, how'd I go on the weekend, coach? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? What do I need to work on? And showed how determined he was to break into this grade. Here's Atkinson, another one forging their career right now. Hines kicks back to Mulatalo's side. He's there in plenty of time as well, but couldn't handle. Dragons didn't fancy it one little bit, did they, the high ball? That ball nearly came loose in contact. Avalawa just able to hold on. De Belin, complaints about him being an obstructor there. St George Illawarra appeal to the referee as well. He's got plenty on his mind right now, Todd Smith.
Yeah, Dragons very bunched too. And time's ticking here. We're inside the last 10 minutes of the first half. They're only just getting into some sort of formation now, and it's tackle 4.
Kept it pretty central on this set, the Dragons. Now Hunt kicks, and the leader of the chase is Flanagan. The game 2 of the 2024 Ampol Women's State of Origin Series is heading to McDonald Jones Stadium, Newcastle on Thursday, June 6. Secure your seats at nrl.com/tickets. It's also exclusive, live and free on 9 and 9 Now.
3-game series for the women this year. You beauty. Get a proper winner.
What a start to Magic Round, game 1 up at Suncorp on the Thursday night. Hines picks up the scraps again.
Yeah, very typically 2 games in Queensland. They get everything for Queenslanders. It's put on for Queensland every year.
No bites, Billy.
Is Billy looking at me?
Atkinson, he's got some game, doesn't he? Showcasing his footwork in this opening 40. Hines on the left, again kicking it for Mulatalo to take on Ravalawa. Up they go, great hands, Hunt as the backup at second slip, if you don't mind.
Well, he got back there just in case. It was a contest between the two wingers. Ben Hunt, he was there just in case the ball come behind.
It's funny how the good players just know where to be, isn't it?
It's no fluke.
They're there all the time. You just don't notice them. You only notice them when they're needed. But he's there all the time, just in case.
Sloan trying to catch out the markers, but Wilton made a nice tackle. Complaints about a forward pass. Looked all right, though, to Hunt to get the kick away on the last. Matoa, right foot step.
Yeah, it's been a good little period since the Ravalawa try, and the ball's been in play a bit. This creates the fatigue where you look for your key men. Your Ben Hunts, your Nico Hines, and the speedsters. The two fullbacks can inject themselves into the game now.
And Freddie, you spoke a lot about the comfort the Sharks had when there was a big period of ball in play last week.
Yeah, absolutely. And I thought that at the start of this game. They've just got to that stage where they're very comfortable when there's a bit of pressure on. And I mean that at both ends of the field. Their wingers are safe. They bring the ball out of trouble safe. The only fault at the moment has been their discipline with the Dragons coming out of trouble.
Here's their chance to cap it all off, only midway through the tackle count here, as the fatigue kicks in here. And another set restart. Williams can afford to set them up now. Hines just organising that right-hand side. Here they go. Back on the angle. Sifa Talakai in that new role off the bench. Long-time centre. Crash ball. Made it tough on Williams again. There's that pass you were talking about earlier, Billy.
We have a Dragons touch as well.
Yeah, it's a tough ball to take
Dragons
right at the defensive line when you're moving quick. Just before contact in these conditions, it needs to be thrown just a tad earlier.
Well, it wasn't the right play. They actually had worked the Dragons' defence over, so the Dragons only had 4 men outside that right-hand upright, marking a lot of territory there. And Nico Hines wanted the ball. He'd come around from right to left. He wanted it. And they tried to squeeze one through an eagle eye opening. That was a bad play.
It was one game earlier today. Newcastle at home against the Warriors. That's a big win for the Knights. And some controversy right on half-time. You see the no try for Dallin Watene-Zelezniak. It was wiped out in mid-air. Just couldn't quite get the ball down. And a lot of people...
He was tackled in mid-air, in the in-goal. It was a penalty, but not a penalty try.
And do you think it should be a penalty try in that situation?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the referee admitted it to the captain off the way off the field. I think that's the controversy. He said, yeah, it should have been a try. He said, I believe he would have scored, but for the interference.
But he said the way it's being adjudicated is that it won't be a try, and it won't be a penalty try.
Yeah.
So the refs just are handcuffed by headquarters, telling them that that's a no-try situation.
Yeah, be careful.
They might get a run on 100% footy, but Gus might stay out of it tomorrow night.
I'll be there, baby. Don't you worry about that.
Well, big chance here for the Dragons. 5 minutes to go leading into half-time. They're 2 points behind on the scoreboard, and they go on the attack. And can they hit the lead before half-time?
There you go the halves, combining, trying to put Faitala Mariner through a hole. He was named to start in that position earlier in the week. Comes off the bench, does Big Ray.
This sense like they need a try here, the Dragons. They need to go to half-time in front.
Flanagan for Sloan. And Sewer back on an angle. Not a whole lot doing on that play. Little, where to next, he says. Subtle pass for DeBellin, second phase. Pass hits the deck. Faitala Mariner, safety first approach. The only option in these conditions. Hunt around to that short side, did the damage earlier, almost missed his boot there.
Well, wasn't the worst set of 6 I've ever seen, but it's in the finals.
The Sharks' defence making the Dragons run out of some ideas approaching half-time.
Sharks very bunched now behind the play the ball. They are really gasping at the moment. It's been a tough 40 minutes, and they've done well. 3.5 minutes to survive. Discipline important. They won't want to be giving away a penalty this set.
Only just outside of his 30 when he kicked that one, Hines. So look at this starting position for the Dragons. Almost back to the 40.
Yeah. This will be a long 3 minutes, I'm telling you.
Bird runs into Ramian. There's the spark for St George Illawarra. Now some energy from Little. Then Murdoch-Masilla. First contribution, a handy one. 5 or 6 post contact meters from him and a set restart earned. For a leg pull maybe.
That's what Gus warned against.
Hunts got rid of Brayley. Murdoch-Masilla being positioned by Flanagan. Now Kyle, left-hand side for Sewer. Flanagan! Space opened up. What contact from Kennedy.
Yeah, great positioning by Will Kennedy. He was there on the spot.
Now DeBellin does move it on to Hunt eventually. Pass behind Lomax, who got back into position as it found Ravalawa in pursuit of a double. Lomax fires one back to the skipper. Hunt hangs it up. Again, it's a little too deep, but battered dead by the Sharks, I fancy.
Yeah, he's got that kick wrong a couple of times, Ben Hunt. Just a couple of metres too deep in the in goal.
I don't know why he didn't catch this. I mean, if you can jump up and get your hands to it, why isn't he catching it? He really wasn't under that much pressure. Nico Hines got in the way of Katoa.
Yeah, just noticing Christian Tuipulotu, he's the winger. He's 20 metres infield on all of those kicks. No one on the sideline.
Nico Hines clearly backing his defence, pretty comfortable to hold up for one more set.
Well, this will be one set. Dragons need a try, I think.
And Sloan out to the left.
Hunt to the right. Murdoch-Masilla did well to hold on to that pass when others have failed in this opening 40. Little to Flanagan. He's taking them on. Desperate to score a try against his former team. Oh, big space opening up to Bellin. How did Talakai stop it?
Brilliant tackle.
Hunt. Sloan. Ravalawa. They do get their try, the Dragons. The Fijian has a double. And how big is that moment in the final seconds of the half?
Very last play of the half. Very last play of the half. Again, repeat sets after repeat sets. The discipline has let the Cronulla Sharks down. And on the very last play of the half, look at this try save right on the line. Brilliant work by Talakai, but they've let him down on the very last play of the half. They should be up here in their face. Isuzu Emiak's replay. They're retreating on their own line, and you can't do that against big outside backs. And Ravalawa just muscles his way in. The ball should never have got to him. The ball should never have got to the wingman there on that last play.
Yeah, there's a strong line by Zach Lomax. He draws in Iro. And they created the space on the outside for Sloan and Ravalawa. They went to their guns, Ben Hunt and Terrell Sloan.
And what about Kennedy as well there, Billy? He had to get involved in that try saver in company with Talakai, didn't he? Then he flies across here.
Oh, he's got a great work ethic. You see him there. He wants to make the difference. He didn't on that occasion, but he saved a certain try there before. A wonderful try saver on the try line. But the Dragons, they'll go into halftime in front. Will it be by 2 points or by 4?
How far outside the left-hand upright for Lomax? And now he needs it to fade. That is genius from Zach. riding the breeze to make that lead 4 at half-time. It's the Dragons 10, Cronulla 6.
Sharks leading the competition, favourites for this game at home, Sunday afternoon footy, but it just felt like a Dragon kind of day.
Here we go. Very important second 40 underway at PointsBet Stadium, and straight to the man of the moment for the Dragons, Ravalawa, with a first half double, including that try in the final minute to edge them in front. Converted in spectacular fashion by Zach Lomax as well, who's hitting it up on play 2. Sharks have got a tough schedule coming up as well. Storm, followed by the Roosters and then Panthers. So footy players do say they only look 1 week at a time, but could that be a distraction for them as well heading into this contest?
Well, everyone was saying that was the testing period. We'll find out how good they're going, but they had to get over this one.
The danger of the local derby.
Yeah, they lose this one and they go into those ones with a little more doubt than they probably would have had, given their good early season form. It's not a criticism, but it's just an obvious thing. They haven't really played any of the top sides so far. Now they're going into that part of the draw. Anyway, let's see what they do here. Breeze at their back. 4-point deficit.
And there's Ramian hitting it up in origin calculations, as revealed by Michael Chammas at halftime. Ever present at right centre for these Sharks. Closing in on 50 tries in the NRL as well for Jesse. Hitting our left-hand side for Atkinson to lift one down towards Tyrell Sloan. Had protection from those in front of him. Mulatalo muscling up defensively.
Well, this will be the key for the Sharks. Get them down there into the field with the breeze and then tackle some mistakes and fatigue into them.
It's been outside back so far. Tui Pelotu, the latest, and look at that, 4 tackles made. Only 13 metres out from their own try line here. Masua on play 5, barely outside of the 20, so the pressure big time on the kicking game of Ben Hunt here.
Let's have a look at the breeze. Not too bad. I'll catch it on the full, don't let it bounce. Bradley Fittler, how's the breeze?
Not too different than it was the first half.
How's the chips?
The chips earlier are a bit soggy, so I'm trying to line up a nice crispy one second half. There's chips on a stick on the other side. I'm thinking of going over there.
You nearly choked on that when I asked you a question.
That was a snake. That was the after half-time snake.
Freddie caught off guard by Gus Gould.
Wouldn't be the first time in his life.
So field position for the Sharks. Hines here on the 5th play. Oh, Nico Hines dragged down by Sloan with an extraordinary try saver in the end.
He looked certain to score there, Nico Hines.
Talakai also held up on the final play by Little getting underneath, I think.
Yeah, great play, Jacob Little, off the back of Terrell Sloan's try saver on Nico Hines.
The whole time, just confirm it doesn't hit the ground.
He just charges off the dummy half Brayley, and Little, he dives over the top, wraps his arms around the football.
Well, this is what the Dragons do. Go back to the previous play and tell me for all money that Nico Hines wasn't going to score a try.
To see if Siffer ever gets the ball to the ground. It's all up at this stage.
Yeah, even in the wet conditions, he looked certain to slide over.
He ended up feet first. He had to go body first.
Based on all available camera angles, we'll be supporting the on-field core of held up. We have a decision.
That's one look. Casey Badger in the box today, in the bunker.
And that'll be a handover to the Dragons, who'll start 10 out from their own line. And Tyrell Sloan, remember last time they played in the wet up in Newcastle, he was shifted to the wing. Lomax went to fullback because the coach said he wasn't probably putting his body on the line defending the try line. He did there. What an incredible try saver, Billy.
Yeah, and it's a great opportunity when you play in the wet to show what sort of courage you have, and The first play after half-time, Terrell Sloaney, he leapt above him, took the ball. He's made a couple of try-saving tackles.
That's 2 big plays off their try line there, and they've come up with an error.
Jack Bird asking for a captain's challenge. He is the milestone man, and Ben Hunt will grant him that wish.
Well, he looks very confident, Jack Bird.
Casey.
Well, it was 2 big plays.
Yeah, agree. Captain's challenge from the Dragons. On field, we have looking to offload, losing into a defender. They're claiming he always held it.
Looking to offload into a defender. They got a couple of offloads to get off their line.
Sort of holding it together with the back of his, on top of his wrist at times here, Jack Bird, but he might not have lost control. Interesting one.
Well, his fingers come off the ball.
Just looking at the ball, and if it shifts in Jack Bird's hand here, Teague Wilton is entitled to lock up the ball.
Teague Wilton's given it a high five. And he's held it on his arm.
Slight movement in the footy. Stuck
The
to that
ball comes
tape.
out of Jack Bird's hand and rolls up his wrist, which is a loose carry.
Couple of looks for Casey, but has she nailed that one, Gus?
One look, Casey.
Ready up the scrum. Scrum him. Mate, that's what I ruled. You challenge it. Hey, scrum him.
One look, Casey. She saw it. Anyway, this is what the Sharks needed. Some mistakes in possession at this end of the field.
There is Flano. Big game for him. An opposition that he's interested in beating, is how he expressed it last week. His hero. Eventually taken down by DeBellin and company. Here's Talakai, so close to a try already in this half. Still no Hamlin Weller yet. He waits in the wings for his punch off the bench. Here's Rudolph at speed. Toby Rudolph getting the fans behind him. Just centimetres away in the end. And the ball poked out. Well, it has to be a penalty. They trail by 4. You'd think they'd keep ball in hand here.
Grabbing the jersey. Micro.
They asked for 10 in the bin, but nothing doing there. And they want to be careful, though, the Dragons, with that kind of cynical stuff. Hines ready to go left-hand side. Talakai will take some stopping. He got Hunt in front of him, and he fancied that matchup. And here come the Sharks.
It's handy with a robust back rower like Talakai, so close to the line, getting him one-on-one with the half in the opposition team. Benny Hunt tries vainly here to hold him up. Nico Hines saw the opportunity. Isuzu MUX replay gets the man to his hard-running back rower, one-on-one with Ben Hunt. Push, shove, trying to hold him up, gets a grip of the ball. Talakai slams it down on the ground, and the Sharks get on the board.
There's a charging run by Sifa Talakai. He did all the work, but he had a bit of help from his teammates. Just watch Teague Wilton, the number 12, and also the movement out the back. And that just isolates Ben Hunt. Allows a one-on-one. A big man on a small man close to the try line. That's great teamwork, good set play. And then the big man, Sifa Talakai, he finished it off.
Hines bending it, and the Sharks now lead. Try number 21 in the career of Sifa Talakai, converted by Hines. So now the Dragons know they must score. Running into the win in this second half. Now trailing by a couple. Rudolph helped set up that try, didn't he, with a determined run. Crowd getting really involved here. Teague Wilton. Just up in time with 3 Dragons tacklers, and there's the try scorer Talakai on play 4. Hines now. Nickera. Trying to pop one out. That was played at by the Dragons, somewhat unnecessarily, handing up a set restart.
Well, that was quite similar to the Jack Bird incident. He hit the ground.
Good shot. Play on for Cronulla. Hines now. Wilton. And Hunt upends the back row this time. Williams. A set-up play. Hines ready to go to work right-hand side now. Kennedy involved. Ramian. Great contact, Jack Bird. It's been one of the matchups of the game so far in that centre position. Brayley. Asking Williams to set it up once more. Where to on the last? Hines waits in front of the uprights. Runners in motion through the hands of Atkinson off the foot of Lomax. And the Dragons have the footy. Oh, no, they don't.
No, we had backwards Cronulla, then the leg, and then knock on Raymond. What down the scrub, Nico?
All right, well, that might be a let-off for the Sharks. They created the gap there. They had the overlap. Just starting to pull through a few Dragons tacklers. Let's have a look at this again. Goes deep into the line. Well, it's been a knock-on for the last 10 years.
Or 100. Only 10.
Certainly for the last 10. My memory doesn't go back that far.
Heads down. Where's Nico? Blake?
The 80s was a tough time for us that had to survive it.
I was anticipating a knock-on against Atkinson as well, but they get a fresh set here. Ramian running over Flanagan. Plenty of backup for the 5/8 defensively. Williams will move it on this time to Rudolph. Trying to run it little, but he had help from Faitala Mariner. Set restart again. Back on the angle, Nickera. Terrific legs tackle by Raymond. Another set restart.
Is it just me, or are there a lot more 6 agains this weekend?
Atkinson played it quickly. Hines. Oh, great contact. Sloan again. How many try savers already for the fullback on Talakai that time? And great work from Sewer on the next play to deny Brayley. Still time on this set. Crash ball for Nickera, forced it back to Talakai, who's fumbled it, and the Dragons stand up defensively big time there.
Yeah, there's a couple of big tackles in that set. Jaden Sewer was one, and the fullback Tyrell Sloan. They'll challenge this the Sharks.
Casey, captain's challenge from Cronulla. On field, we have Sifa losing the ball into a Dragons defender. Cronulla are challenging.
Well, it was an offload back to Talakai off Nickera.
I think this is just rash.
Yeah, that's a knock-on.
This is
Looking
just
to
panic.
determine who touches the ball first.
Backwards, forwards,
One knock-on,
knock-on.
2 knock-on.
Sifa Talakai knocks the ball on first into Tyrell Sloan's arm. The challenge is unsuccessful.
That's a panic challenge. There's 30 minutes to go.
Okay,
That's a panic challenge.
Yeah, no challenges left. Either
That's a
team.
challenge out of
Scrum, boys.
frustration. They've got plenty of time to win this game.
Let's work it in,
They
Dragons.
didn't have to win it on that call. They've got the Dragons where they
Come on,
want
boys,
them.
let's go. Ben, get him in.
And that could prove crucial.
Work it in. Yeah.
Looks like they were hoping for something else to be found in the replay, not just in that contest for the footy, but a penalty somewhere else. But there was nothing doing.
Well, they've wasted it. Got to keep them up your sleeve. game wasn't there to be won right at that moment.
Lomax putting his hand up again for some tough yards and driven back. Held call came before the offload.
Hey, Zach. Zach, hey.
Not afraid to flick it out the back in his own red zone, as we saw last week. Led to a Roosters try, unfortunately. Look at all those sets in a row with their set restarts.
There's Zach Lomax.
Referees will need a physio to help out with their rotator cuffs on Monday and Tuesday at the recovery sessions. The set restarts being signalled this weekend.
Well, it just seems like there's a lot more this weekend.
Awkward looking pass to Hunt. Wow. Up it goes, knocked on by Lomax right in front of the referee.
Wow. That's like a mid-season. I don't know whether he miskicked this. It was just a mid-season bomb into the wind.
Mid-season bomb?
Yeah.
We're approaching the mid-season.
Midfield bomb.
Midfield bomb.
I got you, Gus.
I'm getting old.
Here he is, Braden Hamlin-Welle. What a weapon to bring on with 28 minutes to go. There's the fans right on side with that opening salvo. Kennedy turning Ramian back inside, flicks an offload out the back and then touched by the Dragons again. Restart the tackle count. There's the gesture from the Sharks. Not sure the referee has seen it that way though.
No, he hasn't.
Nor the touchy. Seemed to have been knocked out of that tackle by the Dragons. So we get to the last. Atkinson. Here comes Hines. Little juggle. Really cost them, didn't it?
Very impatient.
What about that from Lomax? Shoved Atkinson out of the way. Ravalawa tried to do something similar to Eero, but he stuck to the task.
I think the next try in this game is really important.
I think the Dragons have got to find some footy down this end of the field too. Finding it really hard to get any field position. They're working hard through the middle. And then kicking into the breeze. And we saw on the end of the last set how hard that is.
Hunt through the hands. Sloan saw Mulatalo coming and Ronaldo lets him know about it.
Yeah. We'll go to the line, mate. Way up scrum.
Yeah, he just attacks with his defence here, Ronaldo Mulatalo. A little bit of structure. And Sloan, Mulatalo reads it well. Doesn't hesitate and goes in.
Tonight's 50-50 charity round is ticket number 9000664, who takes home $3,609.50. Please check your tickets now. Congratulations to your winner. Thank you for supporting Dodging for Life Foundation.
So Jacob Little leaving the ground. Started every game this year. Playing 80 minutes twice in rounds 5 and 6, but an HIA for him after Hamlin-Welle's opening hit up. So the replacement there is an obvious one. New Brown in the number 14 jumper. And slow down Katoa. Hamlin-Welle again. Kennedy looking to expose the big men in the middle. No holes opening up just yet for him. Rudolph. He's taking defenders with him on each and every hit up, isn't he, Toby? Hines. Hamlin-Welle back on an angle. How's that pass? Finds the mark eventually. Kept alive by the Sharks. Toby's gone the wrong way, has he, I think? There was a try brewing out on the right, but he came back inboard.
Ball, Toby!
Well, he certainly went the wrong way there.
The Dragons are just hanging in there, trailing by 2.
Yeah, there's still 25 minutes to go, and they're very bunched. They've had to do a lot of defence at their own end of the field and a lot of hard rucking the ball out. Good run here by Jack Bird. They'd kill for a penalty.
Here is New Brown.
6 again.
Set restart very late in the count.
Yeah, that was a flop, Brayley.
Brown, another of the former Sharks in this lineup. Played for them back in 2014 to 17. Finds the Bellin here. Eisenhuth driven back. Crowd loved that contact and technique from Wilton. Sele just setting them up to go right or left. And they'll come to Hunt via de Bellin. Lomax. Oh, what an effort. Sloan helps it on to Ravalawa in search of the hat-trick. He got it back to the fullback. They're keeping it alive at all costs here. Likewise, Hunt. Ravalawa's got nowhere to go. There's still one more play after this if they take the tackle. And Hines, that's the 3rd time he's latched onto a loose ball.
Yeah, well, it's really good hustle from the Sharks, but it shows how dangerous the Dragons can be. They throw a lot of caution to the wind once they get near your try line, looking for a lot of offloads, and now the Sharks have come up with a fumble. There was rapid-fire stuff down there in the corner. There must have been half a dozen offloads in the space of a few seconds. Now the Sharks have turned one over.
Yeah, they look most likely on their right-hand side, the Dragons. Lomax, Ben Hunt, and Ravalawa. Yeah, I think they forgot it was the 4th tackle. Down to you, Freddie.
Yeah, well, the game was in a bit of a lull when you think about a spectator point of view, but this got the crowd to their feet. Nico diving on the ball, and then they dropped it. And they sat back down and ate their chips.
Well, as I said earlier, the next try is really important. If the Dragons can get to the front again, then we might start to see some panic from the Sharks.
And this guy's determined to be a winner in his milestone game. 150th for Bird. de Bellin found his front for the play the ball in a hurry. Hunt, Flanagan, Sloan, left-hand side and back to Bird. Look at that welcoming committee for him. Hines and Ramian sticking the tackle. Flanagan sends it back to the middle. Teague Wilton, what about his tackling today?
That's the 2nd time he's got Eisenhuth. He's stolen some money.
Faitala Mariner. We get to the last this time. De Bellin again featuring. Forward pass from Hunt, and that was the call.
Hand over. 10-metre line.
Emma Lawrence has some breaking news.
Yeah, Speedy, it's a Category 2 head knock for Jacob Little. That means he gets 15 minutes to be assessed. He got absolutely steamrolled by Braden Hamlin-Uele when the Sharky had just come onto the field about 5 minutes ago.
Got to clear the ruck.
Too slow, Tom Eisenhuth. It's a great chat that Nico Hines did with Braden Hamlin-Uele. Previewing mental fitness round for Cronulla. He hasn't found touch here though, Nico Hines.
Well, there's no dragging on the sideline.
Yeah, Bermuda Triangle. You're about to see it all. Penalty coming out of trouble, failed to find touch.
Approaching the hour mark.
I just feel like the Sharks are starting to build a bit of anxiety here.
Strong run to Bellin. Sele now. Tyrell Sloan chimes in. Lomax used Ravalawa, who was running out of room in a hurry. And look out, boys, careful. Mulatalo was trying to defuse the situation after pushing Ravalawa over.
I think he realised what he did.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
I don't know that Mulatalo is a diffuser. He's usually an instigator. He likes a bit of rough and tumble. But the Dragons coming up with that fumble will ease the anxiety a little bit.
There's no need for it.
Yeah, he realised he was in the wrong and the penalty could be brewing, so he tried to play peacemaker afterwards. Ronnie got away with it all. World Water Sports award-winning podcast series Stories of Origin is back for its third series. In episode 1, we explore the truly unique relationship between Alfie and his greatest support and fellow number 7. That was New South Wales to the core, Tommy Radonicus. Stories of Origin Alfie out now, available on 9 Now and wherever you get your podcasts.
One of a kind, our Tommy.
Good work by Selle to track down Bailey as that gap was opening up. Kick to Ravalawa against Mulatalo. Good take by the Fijian.
A few walkers now for the Dragons.
Yeah, this guy is ready to go every time, Lomax.
Every time. That's what I mean. He's got Origin in him every time. He does a lot of one-on-one stuff, and he's always available for something tough to do.
Amazing engine, sucking in the big ones right on cue, and deservedly so. Sharks just have so many numbers ready and waiting for every Dragon. One from well inside the 40. Good luck getting a 40-20 going that way here at Shark Park this afternoon. And there's Lomax making the one-on-one tackle down low on Mulatalo.
He doesn't need assistance, that Lomax. He does it all himself.
What a run from Iro, his opposite number, and knocked out by Hunt. How does the ref see that? That's a knock on.
Making a tackle.
Well, they've got no challenge. So that's why you don't waste your challenge.
Way on the scrum, Kyle. Scrum the middle.
Would they have won the challenge, though, in the modern day? Is this a knock-on when Hunt...
I think it's a loose carry, but, you know, I mean, you can't question it. There's no doubt that Hunt just punches that ball out. Now, they can't challenge it because they wasted it one with a stupid challenge before.
Let's go, work it in.
It might cost you, Gus, using stupid.
Heads down here. Let's go.
Never get a fine jar in the com box.
Head in you. Will.
There's Craig Fitzgibbon in the coach's box. Third year as the head coach of Cronulla, knows all about the rivalry, of course. Started his career with Illawarra and then St George, Illawarra. In his first 2 years in the comp. Look at the meter eaters. Ravalawa, scorer of 2 tries, just ahead of Ramian.
Outside backs in the top 3 of the meter eaters.
Over halfway.
Good tackle.
That's a good hit.
Underneath.
One of the top tacklers in the comp. He's made over 300 heading into this round at 94% efficiency. Blake Brayley involved in back-to-back efforts there. Hunt spots some room on the outside and has to hand it over. Just couldn't position Lomax.
No, well, Lomax was looking ready for the chase, and then Hunt decided to run the ball and couldn't get Lomax back in position to give him a pass. A lot of tired footballers out here. Still only 2 points the difference. I feel the anxiety rising in the home side. Do you feel it, Billy?
I feel they're in control because the breeze is at their back and they're turning the ball over in good field position. But if they come up with an error or gift early, easy field position, well, that's when it can come unstuck for the Sharks here. They're in control. It's how bad do they want it and how they're going to get it.
Dragon down. That was really awkward contact. Look at the space open up for Katoa. Oh, what a step. Was he tripped up there by Sloan, who comes again and completes the tackle. New Brown back, down in back play. Little off, of course. Here's Tommy! Hazelton! They won't stop it, Tommy!
Up you go, Tommy boy.
I was just about to say we haven't seen Tommy for a while.
Yeah, had to get him back into the action. Some beautiful play out here to the right-hand side for Couture to get through. He was tripped up, and from the very next play, I think it's Nico Hines who just sees the big bald head of Tommy and said, here you go, brother. You sort this lot out. Isuzu Emirax replay. There's only 4 of them there, nowhere near enough to stop Big Tommy from going in under the posts.
Fourth try in his past 8 games for Tom Hazelton, a great record for a front rower.
They got the chant going.
He's a machine.
Here's the line break, Katoa. And Sloan, he's been put on a report for that trip, just throwing the right leg out after being beaten with the step.
That just should be a sin bin, that. At absolute least. Like, he doesn't try to make a tackle. He just throws the right leg out and trips him over in a try-scoring position.
He doesn't overcomplicate his job, Tom Hazelton. He's very straight up and down, north-south. He's a real soldier of this team. And off the back of it, he's been scoring tries of late. He picks up another one this afternoon.
And Hines makes the lead 8. Big moment from Tom Hazelton, who's now joint try-scoring leader so far as front rowers are concerned, with a certain Adam Fanua-Blake. That'll be a fair combo next season at Cronulla. There's another look at that Sloan trip that saw him placed on report. Have we seen more of those, Billy, at the moment?
We've seen a few of late. In the last few weeks, we've had 2 or 3, and they've resulted in a fine.
What about in-game? Gus just said 10 minutes in the bin would be a worthy sanction.
It used to be a send-off. But at the moment, it's on report, penalty, and a fine.
That was just a blatant bad one. But there's no real excuse for that one. Some of them can be a little bit reactionary, but
Well, I think in the context of the game, you've nearly got to take the risk to letting that bounce. Get a 7-tackle set, start on the 20. You're going to get some field position here, Gus. You're going to throw some caution to the wind.
Billy, you would never have let that bounce.
You might have let that one bounce.
No, you wouldn't have.
Good sign for the Dragons. Jacob Little has obviously passed his HIA. So with New Brown picking up that injury concern, they can't wait to get the number 9 back out there. Flanagan helping out at the moment at dummy half.
Well, they've got to start playing football now, the Dragons. They can't just take hit-ups. They'll eat that up, the Sharks. They've got to get some plays together and get their key players with the footy in their hands, the Ben Hunts, the Terrell Sloans.
Here's Hunt and Sloan combining right on cue. Ravalawa just looks up and sees players in front of him, and that war of words continues with Ronnie. It could all boil over in the next 10, I fancy.
Yeah, I don't know, Ronnie. You did score 2 tries down your wing in the first half. It's a little bit hard to be...
Yeah, he just got brought into the principal's office there.
Yeah. Tone it down a little bit.
Yeah, the pass was just behind Ravalawa. A little opportunity down that right-hand side.
He'd be getting teed up in the NBA playoffs right now, wouldn't he, for that kind of stuff? Taunting from Ronaldo Mulatala. Here he is. And they didn't hold him.
I feel these Dragons players starting to drop off some tackles.
Really sensing it. Went to Atkinson. Another player down in back play.
Zach Lomax.
And they're defending with 12. Zach working his way back into the line, but not involved in this play. They don't go to his side, though. They go right-hand side for Nicola. Hines. Ball in hand for McInnes. And they'll have to hand it over.
Up to your trainer,
They've
mate.
done that a lot today, running the ball on tackle 5, close to the line. Oh, a little bit of friendly fire there for Zach Lomax. Looks like he's got a stinger on the back of the neck.
Yeah, just jammed his neck up.
Ran right into the chest of Blake Laurie.
And if they weren't teammates, Laurie would be on report for a crusher. Here he is, blocker. Cronulla handing that ball over right in front of the uprights, so making it tough for the Dragons here into the wind.
Strong run.
Is that Sewer again?
Yep.
He's been terrific today. Like, I mean, really terrific.
Katoa looking to pounce. He's then tackled without the footy. There's a lot to sum up here. It's a penalty to the Sharks and maybe 10 in the bin, is it, for Tui Pelotu?
Long way out.
Oh, no.
Just penalty for me.
He was in the action of kicking it. Oh, yeah, maybe.
The referee said, I'm just happy with penalty here.
That's fine. I don't like a lot of sin bins.
Only for tripping. Here you go, Cronulla again inside the red zone. Fusi. McInnes and Hines on to Kennedy. Sewer flying out of the line, didn't stick the tackle. Kennedy eventually concedes. Atkinson. Subtlety in the pass, opened up a little bit of room for Wilson, but it closed in time for the Dragons. Atkinson now, and they move it on to Hines. Trapping and scrapping. Sewer's done it again to get the ball back for his team.
Daniel Atkinson, he's done a couple of little classy things today. Nearly had a try assist here over on the left. Dragons very bunched, which means that the Sharks are just jamming up tight in defence.
Broke the line in the first half.
Yeah, he's had a couple of nice little touches.
He's working as a chippy in Queensland not that long ago.
All right, Dragon, here's your chance. 7.5 minutes. Emma Lawrence.
Yeah, Gus, it was actually an HIA for New Brown, the Dragons interchange player, deemed a Category 2, but he did seem to be in a lot of pain as well as he came off and maybe a bit winded.
Well, Dragon needs a try now in this set or in this possession.
And they've scored on the right wing a couple of times in that first half. Headed that way. Second hit up on this set from Ben Murdoch-Marcilla, the veteran. To Flanagan. Flat one for Eisenhuth. Late offload could be handy. Sloan now. Tyler Mariner against Atkinson. Good help from Europe. Hunts. Great positioning, Nicola. And made the catch and then almost crusher-like action over the top. He's staying down here, looked really awkward, and that's what the penalty is blown for.
Yeah,
Pressure on the neck.
caught in an awkward position here. Nicola. It was Molo over the top. It was a beautiful catch here. Ricocheted off the legs of Tommy Eisenhuth as he twists down in the tackle. And He lost his balance there, Molo.
6 minutes away from returning to the top of the ladder. The Cronulla Sharks, handy buffer right now, keeping the Dragons scoreless in the second half so far. And Hazelton's try looks like being pivotal. There's a look at the live ladder right now. The for and against is off the charts. Well clear of the next best in the top four. The Roosters are going well after shellacking they dished out to the Dragons on Anzac Day. And they loom large, don't they, the Roosters, the form they've found last couple of weeks.
The Bulldogs in 8th position. Like, look at that, Gus. Here come the Dogs.
And Cronulla seal the deal here. Hines, crossfield, up they go. Well, that appeared to be forward from Lomax to Hunt, and that's the call from the well-positioned referee, Todd Smith.
So was it not a penalty?
We on the scrum. Scrum in the
wasn't
middle.
quite so sure, maybe. Does that give him the benefit of the doubt?
Shot clock on.
Lomax got past the ball after he knocked it forward. All right, Shark can close this out right here. Just looking a little bit dispirited now, the Dragon boys.
Let's go, Blake. 10 seconds.
Kind of losing touch with the result. Sharks are deadly in these positions normally.
Centre field scrum. Hines wanted to use the fullback Kennedy. And the Dragons had all jumped the gun out on that side. Can they just kill the clock and take the shot at 2?
Clearly offside.
Hines weighing that up right now.
Do you want the penalty or repack? Yep.
May as well take the shot at 2. Nico Hines taking time off the clock here, lining up the shot at 2 after the Dragons gave away the offside penalty from the scrum.
Well, the one thing it does do, it gives the Dragons an opportunity to kick off short and get possession back. There'll be 2.5 minutes left on the clock, 3 minutes left on the clock.
And they'll be trailing by 10. So the Dragons do not go short. They go really long.
Well, if you're ever going to go short, it's 2.5 minutes to go when you're 10 behind.
And into the breeze.
I don't understand going long.
That's just a brain snap. That's kind of like, can we go home now?
Any obvious room for improvement for the Dragons? They can try and get right for the weeks coming forward. We've got the Rabbitohs next week, then the bye.
Yeah, look, I think off the back of last week, they've certainly improved certain parts of their game. But there's certainly some improvement to go in their attack. You know, some detail on their plays and creating opportunities. They're up against a really good defensive team today in the Sharks, but they've just been found out in that area of the game.
Oh, the pass hits the deck. Bird trying to make something happen.
And the Sharks, on the other hand, now people have been saying they haven't really played anyone. They've played a lot of the lower tier teams, and they have. But this is a nice warm-up for them, leading into the fact that I think they play
Storm,
Roosters, Panthers.
That's right. That Roosters game is the Magic round, of course, just a fortnight away now.
Storm, Roosters, Panthers, Eels. By then, Mitchell Moses will be back, and then Broncos. So it is. It's not season defining, but when they get through that run, they'll know exactly where they stand.
Handy to take a 7-1 record into that run of games.
Well, they couldn't be better prepared for it.
Lomax latched onto the midfield bomb. And look at Tui Pelotu go with the strapping coming loose. And the tackle made by Kennedy. And the Sharks can have a ceremonial set of 6 here to close it all out.
Yeah, they're just warming up the Up Cronulla team song. The crowd will be on its feet. And the Sharks have got another win. They go to the top of the ladder again. Having a great year. It's a good footy team.
And the wait for success in the local derby will go on for the Dragons. The last win was during COVID at Campbelltown in 2020. Mulatalo has been letting them know about it as well. 8 straight wins against the Dragons for Cronulla in this local derby. They come from behind here in the second half to get the job done and go back to the top of the ladder. Full time at PointsBet Stadium. It's Cronulla 20, the Dragons 10.